/AskReddit. What is the strangest compliment you've ever received? I was told that I have nice legs by some random guy that didn't have legs at Walmart once. What did you say? They are not for sale. Damn, do you have a brother? Cause I would fuck the shit out of him. Yup, I have an identical twin. I'll set you two up for 8 PM this evening at your place. At an airport, an employee said, "You look like you should be somebody." After I said something like thanks, I think, he then clarified that he meant like an athlete or actor. I do think it was meant as a compliment, but since then I've been haunted by the feeling that I haven't lived up to my potential. Already mentioned it once, but you look so much cuter without your glasses on. Almost like you're 12. It was from a front desk clerk who also touched my face because it looked so soft. I never walked out faster than I did there. Edit, for clarification. This was back when I was in high school during my senior year. I was about 18 at the time, and I was paying on a hotel room for rather unexplained reasons, and that's when I encountered the clerk. The clerk was a female. I was male. I had already accepted the fact that I was into guys, yet my anxiety still prevented me from saying so. I'm also known to have some sort of a baby face, making me look younger than I really am, and resulting in comments on how cute I am, not handsome, cute. So when she stated I looked cute, I didn't really flinch, because I thought whatever. Almost every girl I meet says that. Let me pay off the room. That's when she made that age comment and proceeded to reach over to touch my face. I just simply picked up my card key, told her to keep the receipt, and booked it out the door. I didn't even bother to go back to the room for anything. I just really wanted to get out of there. I knew I wouldn't win in any situation unless I made a tactical retreat, but once I think about it, it was probably caught on camera anyway. Probably should have spoke up then. You rock 2 black eyes and a broken nose better than anyone I've ever seen. Your bruise matches your dress. For context, a couple of years ago I broke my nose on the back of a stopped car while commuting on my bike. I spent 3 weeks walking around with, you guessed it, a broken nose and two shiners. Most people looked horrified at first sight. A couple of my teachers asked about my home life, but one girl noticed that I'd started matching my clothing to the color of my bruises out of boredom. A nurse told me I have beautiful veins. When my sister was in training to become a nurse, she once looked at my forearms and said, "You have such beautiful veins. Can I take a blood sample from you?" Yeah, not creepy at all. 90% of women you meet won't like you. But the ones that do are gonna be obsessed with you and hang on your every word. You have the charisma of a cult leader. Something like that. I still don't know what to think of that. All hail Kicksballs 13. Is that a guy or a girl? Damn, either way. This reminds of a friend who was in my Dungeons and Dragons group. She liked hooking up with every NPC she could and would refuse to reveal what gender her character was, would only say that they were hot. My little 7-year-old sister once said to me, "You're like Cinderella when she dies." Still don't know what that means, but I take it as a compliment. Not me, but I've read on another thread that a shy and social guy was once told by his classmate, who was being repeatedly bullied at school, "I wish I could be invisible like you." My high school headmaster, she liked being called that as opposed to headmistress for reasons, was talking about me joining a school play and cited a reason being my cute, boyish face. I don't know, man. Thanks. She wanted to master that head. Teacher told me I was a buff-ass kid and that I looked like I was getting buffer every day. Weird because it was in front of the whole class and I got embarrassed. I don't receive compliments well. No, that's definitely creepy. I was at work. I work in a grocery store and was the attendant for the self-checkout machines and was required to wear a green vest. Had a girl who was probably in late middle school to early high school yell at me, "Guy in the green vest. You're beautiful. Have a great day." Very random. Very odd. When I was socially awkward in high school, I was in a creative writing class. A very small class. We all sat in circles and traded poems or prose each week. One week our poem topic assigned to us was to pick something about a fellow classmate that we liked about them. I was confused and picked my teacher instead and chose his beard to write about. The girl in the class, red-headed and cutsy, chose me. She wrote a 3-stanza poem about how much she loved my nose. Never really got over that, especially after in my mid-20s that I realized she had a crush on me. When I was young and getting a physical from a doctor, she was needing my boobs for tumors and such when she said, "How, your skin feels like bathing suit material." I was stunned and I asked her, "Is that a bad thing?" She seems equally stunned and replies with, "No, I don't think so." This was just strange because it came from such a young person. I was once walking to the station near where I lived at the time. And there was a mum and her young precocious daughter, maybe 6 to 7 years old, came over and like camp fashion obsessed young man started saying, "OMG, I love what you're wearing, that blazer and scarf together, OMG. And those shoes are just perfect with what you are wearing." Her mum apologized and had to drag her away. It was just super weird coming out of such a young person. I always find precociousness such a weird trait, being a man-child, but her sheer enthusiasm for what I was wearing was just too weird. I do like to dress well, so I was kinda flattered. I was once told I look very German by a guy. I'm Irish, and he was obsessed with the Nazis and German WW2 stuff. Guy wasn't a neo-Nazi or anything, just a really weird guy with an obsession about a topic. For context, this was like in the 10th grade, so quite a few years ago now. That's also the only time another man has complimented my appearance. You have big beautiful earlobes. I've been told this on many occasions by many different people. Also, when playing video games with my friends, one of them told me that I was a really nice person that could make everyone else playing really toxic. In my junior year of high school, I had been interested in this girl for a few years. I had heard rumors about her. She went to a neighboring high school, that she was kind of an awful/weird human being, but she was pretty, and I was 16, so I brushed it off. Nothing really happened until the summer, before she was going off to college, where we started hanging out one-on-one, grabbing lunches, walking our dogs together, sitting in the park at night and stargazing. It was really fun, and we got along well, and had similar interests in art, and cooking and music. Maybe a week after we had started hanging out, we were sitting in her car, and I was asking her how she felt about leaving soon. She told me that she was glad she had met me, because she felt like I understood her in a way that no one else really did. I remember being flattered, but also kind of concerned. Like, thank you, but also, are you telling me that none of your other actually close friends know you? Especially since I had barely been talking to her for long. Anyway, we stopped talking pretty soon after that. But for those few weeks, 16-year-old me was having the time of his life talking to that girl. Damn, you go hard for a guy wearing a cardigan. Some background: I absolutely love punk rock, and especially love being in the pit at shows, but I don't really look the type to be there most of the time. This past October I went to see the Distillers in concert in Minneapolis. I had been wanting to see them ever since I was 16 years old, but I never got a chance before they broke up because I was too young for most of their shows. So, with that said, I was super excited for this show since I had been waiting about 15 years for it. I decided to wear a grey button-up shirt and a beige cardigan with dark blue jeans. I looked pretty normal, but definitely stood out at the show full of a bunch of punks wearing all black and studs. The show gets going, and I'm having a blast in the pit. I was in it for nearly every song, stopping briefly to catch my breath for a bit before being pushed back in. During one of these breaks, this biker looking dude with a shaved head, tattoos, and a long grey beard puts his hand on my shoulder and says, "Damn, you go hard for a guy wearing a cardigan." I thought it was a hilarious and very unexpected, so I just gave him a nod and made my way back in. Definitely paid for it the next day as I was pretty banged up all over, but it was such a great show, and that compliment really helped make that night special. You have very elaborate handwriting. My handwriting is fucking garbage. I have trouble reading it sometime. Shitloads of unnecessary loops and a weird angle to the lines.